Hello, welcome back to Funtime Crafts 24/7. This is another Let's Make video, and what we're making today is we are going to make one of these really fabulous lit up paper lanterns. And they're a super easy make, take really minimal amount of supplies. They go fairly quickly, and they are so fun depending on how elaborate you want to get with them. I'm actually hand filming it because they're so big, they're so long, like tall, that I can't fit them all in the camera view, so on my mounting system. So I thought, well, I'll just hand film them. Hopefully it's not too shaky and you can just get an idea of what it is we're putting together. So you can actually make these lanterns with or without the fringe skirt or tassel skirt, and then with or without the lights in the center. And I just think the lights are super fun. The fairy lights are always fun when you add them to decorations or a party, and they just amp it up that much more, make it really fun. You can go just simple with just paper like this one is. This is the one we're going to replicate, or you can get as involved by adding rhinestones, lace trims, all kinds of embellishments that you want, to make it as ornate and detailed design as you want to get involved. But they're really easy and super simple. So let me pause you here, turn the lights on, and put you back on the mounting thing, and we'll get started. Hang on. Okay, so we are going to replicate this one here, but there's a couple things I wanted to let you know before I forget. And a couple of the details. This takes one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. It's more fun if it's double-sided, but as you can tell, if you just have plain cardstock and you doll it up, it is beautiful as well. It just kind of depends on if you have whatever it is you have to match your decor. The other thing is I used a border punch up here, and and this is a 1-inch border punch. It goes right to the line that I created to make these hoops, and on each side they're punched in glitter paper. But the bouncy, or not bouncy, but like the hoopiness, the roundedness of this lantern is much more round than this one, because I stayed within my score line and kept my border to 1 inch. This one here, because this border, I used the Anna Griffin Rose border on this one, which went below my score line. It actually made, and so I did that on both sides, it made it to where the lantern isn't as nice and rounded as this one is. It's more squished up. The outside, like the detail of it is more squished rather than allowing it to be a relaxed rounded edge, or side. And so there is that to keep in mind. So if you want it to be like a really rounded, full looking lantern, and not this shape here to where it's more prominent, you want to make sure that your border is an inch or less, that you're going to decorate with. And if it goes over the score line, you're going to get it that's going to be like this shape here, to where it's really contoured in the centered rather than just being a nice gradual rounded pumpkin shape. You get this more like Christmas ornament style. They're both really super fun, and this is the one we're going to recreate anyways. It's just whatever like look that you're going for, you want to keep that in mind. Like I was saying, you could make this with or without the handle. I put the handle on mine because I really liked it that way, but then when I went to go hang it up on my wreath hook, that they hung crooked. And so this style handle really needs to hang on something that goes straight down, that has enough room for it to dangle. If it has to lean up against, it's like up against something, it'll get pushed out and it won't hang nice and straight. So in order to fix that, I added a loop of ribbon off the back of it, so it will hang in between the little paper layers. It'll hang in between that, and then be able to hang nice and straight on my wreath hook. So just a little FYI there. So you can go, and then I don't necessarily need the handle, but I think the handle is super cute. So I left it on anyways, and you don't even notice that it's not hanging from the handle when it's on the wreath hook. It just looks like it's supposed to be like that. So pretty fun. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some fairy lights for this project. And I bought a bulk pack off of Amazon, and they're like a Tim Holtz style. They're small. Let me show you the ones I'm using. We're using these here, these fairy string lights. And you get this is a pack of 12 off of Amazon. And they come already with batteries and everything. And they weren't very much money. But I did buy them a while ago, so don't quote me on that, but they're readily available on Amazon. And, oh man, there we go. You just need one per lantern. And they have a little pull. They've got a little pull tab on the back that you take out for the lights to work. And so there's an on and off switch, and you can replace the batteries in them. So that is pretty fun. So now what I'm using today is I'm actually using the Anna Griffin Madison paper collection, and we're going to use this piece here. You need a scoreboard, an X-Acto knife, or a cutting knife, and a self-adhesive mat, or a cutting mat, any type of cutting mat. You need one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So the full sheet here, full sheet of 8.5 by 11 clear cardstock, or acetate 2 works. And then you need, so scoring board, and that's about it. Maybe a piece of ribbon, your fairy lights. Yeah, this is a really basic project. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our paper, and double-sided is the funnest because if it has a pattern on both sides, it's really cool. So basically what you're going to do is you want to make sure that if it's directional, that you're going in the proper way. So the first 2 score lines that we're going to do on this side, if this paper had orientation, I would want to, like, if this is upright here, I would want to turn it to the side, and I would want to do these 2 score lines, 1 and 11. Wait, 1 and 11. And you're going to score the whole way down. And then you're going to turn it back to right side up. So the right side up, you want all the one that has all the score lines on it, you want that to be, you want your paper oriented to facing you right side up versus sideways. So you're going to score on every inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. You just want to make sure you score at every inch, and it doesn't have to be super deep, because the other thing is you're cutting these lines, so it's just enough to where you can see it, in order to make to do the cut on it. And so now what you want to do is you want to take and you want to fold the first 2 score lines that you did. So the one that goes horizontal across those vertical lines, you want to fold it up towards the pretty side. Whatever side of the paper you want out, that's the way you want to fold it towards. So since this is my outside, I'm folding these towards that side. Up or out, in, and then you want to open them back up. And then what you want, this is where you need your X-Acto knife, and you need self-healing mat, a metal ruler probably. You can do this by hand. It will probably look better though if you did have a metal ruler, but you can still do it by hand. It doesn't matter if it's off too much or not. You kind of just want a basically straight line. This is definitely not a perfectionist type of deal by any means. Oh, you guys are going to get to see my nasty mat. The one I do everything on. And then basically all you're going to do is you're going to line your ruler up. And you're going to line your ruler up on each of the inch marks. Each of the vertical lines that you did an inch. So there's all those. And you're going to line it up on the first one. And then you're going to cut from that score line that we came down an inch and up an inch. You're just going to cut in between those two score lines. And you want this to be a glue tab and this to be a glue tab. So just like that. And this is what you should end up with. And you want to do that all the way down. And so I'm going to do that off camera because this is kind of in the way and I want to make sure I am doing it pretty accurately. This is what gives you, when you put it in the shape and curve it, that's what gives you all your fun little paper strips. So that's what you're doing in a sense. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so once you get that done, you should have a paper like this. That's got all these little slits in it. And now what you want to do is you want to take and you want to cut the end one off. The last one off. And save it because that's what's going to make your handle. And you're gonna cut it off at the to where you have an inch glue tab there. And technically you could actually make you could actually make these strips whatever width you want. It would just give you more like lantern stripe pieces. It's just however thick you want them to be. I just found the inch was like super nice and really quick. And so that really worked for me. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to do your two borders. You want to do a border for the bottom and the top. If you want to, you don't have to. This is just purely decorative, but I want to put two red foil borders on the top and the bottom of mine. So I'm using one of my I'm actually using the last Crop at Home 5. The Crop at Home 5 border, and I'm using the rose one. And I'm just going to cut it out of red. These are the Anna Griffin Crop at Home 5 borders. And so let me cut two of those out, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I got these two cut out, I'm going to attach them to the top and bottom. And I'm just going to run 1/4 inch score tape down the center of the back of it. And like this, and then 1/8 inch towards the top of this die. On this like smaller part there, I'm going to put 1/8 inch on that side. And then we will peel and attach. This is like the quickest thing to make if you just use pretty paper and keep it simple. Oh my. Very, very nice. And then I'm just going to start at this corner and line it up with the bottom. Like so. That's done. Then we'll flip it over and we'll put that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. It's so 4th of July. And we're going to go ahead and do this one. Super easy. Yeah, 1/4 inch fits right between those die cut holes. Really nice. And then 1/8 inch on the top. And that's pretty much I found for doing these borders. All you need to attach it. That makes it so simple. You could add some glue on this if you want it to be super permanent, but I'm basically planning on using these for 4th of July, taking the fairy lights out and pitching them at the end. I don't plan on keeping these. They're just a fun little decoration. And if you don't use, expensive paper and stuff, you just use like cardstock. They're very inexpensive to make. They're so easy. So if you want some last minute decorations that are fun and simple, and they're fairly quick too, these are really cool. And you don't have to use, like we're using clear cardstock for the center, but you could actually just use more decorative paper. You don't have to have acetate or cardstock for the center. It's just if you're adding lights, so you wouldn't even need fairy lights either. So now that we're done with that, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over And we're going to add this 1/2-inch score tape. I'm going to put 2 strips across the bottom and the top on the back. And then we're going to adhere this to our acetate. So, or cardstock. So whether you're going to do this step, whether you're doing clear cardstock or acetate, or you're doing regular cardstock, you're going to do this too. And the cardstock you want to be 8.5 by 11 as well. And if you actually scored this at 6 inches in the center, so like we did 1 inch and 11, you could actually do 1 and 6 and then 11, and that would give you a different design as well. It would give you more of like a diamond looking shape when you go to do this next step that we're going to do. No, actually, we're not doing that yet. Okay, so now this is ready to be adhered to our cardstock. But, oh yeah, I can. Yeah, we can. So now you need your cardstock, 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, or clear cardstock, or acetate, whatever it is that you're going to use. I'm putting fairy lights in mine, so I'm using clear cardstock. And then I'm basically just going to go, so this is actually quite critical, actually. Either way you go, you have to do this step, whether you do fairy lights or not. But what you're going to do is you're going to peel off the backer to your score tape. If you're using glue, you only want to put glue down to the edge of this little glue tab. So like don't take the backer off of the end piece down here, because this is what adheres it together. So just leave the tiniest little bit of, make sure you put your extra score tape up on the up on top of the glue tab there, but don't like keep the backer on that tab there, and just do one at the top or the bottom at one time. And so then what you want to do is you want to take this edge and you want to line it up on the 11-inch side, the top of it, of the cardstock. But you want to stay in like about 3/8, a quarter of an inch to 3/8 of an inch in. Like so. And line it up. And you're just lining it up at the top of the cardstock, like that. So it should look like this on this side, and then on the back, the cardstock ends here. So you still have your glue tab, right? And this is just a cover sheet for the clear cardstock to keep it nice. And I was keeping it there so you could see too. And so now what you want to do is you want to do the same thing at the bottom. You want to take the backer off, but only to like an inch from the end. Make sure you put your score tape on the top of the tab. Okay, so if you do like I just did, just put your backer back on to the length that you need it. Whoopsie. There you go. And then now what you're going to do is, this part's really fun. You're going to bend it up, and you're going to line up. You're going to hold it from the edge down here, and you're going to line this bottom edge up with the bottom edge of the cardstock, about the same distance that you did at the top. And this is what makes the curve in your lantern. So this is what you should have, like this tunnel. Like that. That's what you should have now. And then it should look like this on the back. So you still have that gap there, and you have a tab sticking out at this end, and the cardstock, the clear cardstock, ends here, right? Okay, so we've got that. And now what we're going to do is we need to make our fringe skirt. Oh, the other thing I should have said was, if you want to decorate like more, like you're using regular cardstock and you want to put rhinestones on it, do it when it's flat. Do that part before you attach the bottom. to the clear and make the tunnel, because it's much easier to put it on. And the rhinestones you'll want to use glue with. Like if you get the ones from like Walmart, Dollar Tree, stuff like that, you definitely want to use glue when you attach those strips of rhinestones so they stay for a long time. That glue doesn't adhere very well. You can go back after you have put them on and put a little art glitter glue over the whole thing, and that will help keep them on. But it's much easier to put a line of glue, bead of glue, and then put the rhinestones on top of that, and then you're golden. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make our French skirt. Excuse me. So you could either be done here and roll this up, or you could attach the fringe tassel skirt at the bottom. I want a tassel skirt, so we're going to do that. So what you need for that is you need just regular old tissue paper that you use for gift wrapping. And what you do is I used red and white. If I had blue, I would have done red, white, and blue, but I don't have any blue. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 pieces, or you need 3 sheets. You need 3 sheets, but I'm going to use 1 red, and which I think I already have an 11-inch. I think this is 11. Let me see if this is 11. Whoops. Oh, it's only 9. No, that's too small. You need it to be, you need an 11-inch wide piece. So I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to get 2 of this one. 1, 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it up and cut it down to 11. You only need the width to be 11, not the length. The length can be however long you want it. But to make this easier, we're going to fold it all back up to the way it came, like this. Like it came like this. Okay. And then we're going to do the same with this one. This one came like this. Fold it all back up, and we're going to put them together like that. And we're going to cut 11 inches off. Okay. So we're going to do 11 inches. So you just fold it all back up to it. And these are the big ones. These are like the big packs of tissue paper that you can get. Oh. So here, let's get this in here. And this is not an exact science. You're not going for perfection here. It does not need, this is not a perfect project. Okay, and so you're just going to line it up on 11. Basically, they're going to be about the same. And you're going to cut it off. And now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and put them together. And the 11-inch is the side that it gets hung on. Yeah, the 11-inch is the side it gets hung on. Okay, and then what you're going to do is, after you put the 11-inch, all 3 pieces together, you want to adhere these together now. Just this top edge. And so what I did was I took and folded these over like this, and then I just put a strip of score tape down the one side on the 11-inch side. And then you can trim your tassels to be whatever length you want them to be. Your fringe skirt. So then now I'm just going to adhere all 3 of these together. And you could honestly just do this with tape or glue, whatever you have. And you're not going for perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ooh. Good thing I said we were not going for perfect. There. just fine. That'll do. Okay, put another piece of score tape. Yeah, this is kind of the wrong adhesive, just because it's so strong and so permanent. That's okay though. We want it to stay, right? And then glue this one on. There we go. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to at this point you could make them all the same length, so you don't have to trim them up later, or you could just do it at the end, whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim mine up so they're basically the same, so I don't have to do it later with the 1,000 little things. And see, it's not perfect at all. And now what you're going to do is you're going to fold this. You're going to take and you're going to fold all 3 up. And what you want to do is you want to stay within, smooth it out, and then stay within about 1 inch from the top. About 1 inch from the top, because that is going to be your glue tab right there. That is what that is. That's your glue tab up there. So you're just going to fold it up to the length that you're comfortable with cutting fringe out. Okay, and I think I can be comfortable with cutting the fringe out like that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some scissors here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut. That's a big one there, but it doesn't matter. That's my first one. And now I'm going to try to stick with about 1/4 of an inch wide and cut this all the way down. And this is what is going to get us our little fringe tassel skirt. And it is going to be so fun. And however thin or thick you want to do these, totally up to you. This just makes it so fun. Just be sure not to cut your previous ones. And see, they're not perfect at all. And then also try not to cut them. You know, you want to make sure to cut all the layers, but not your tab. Sometimes putting it on the table helps to get all the other pieces out of the way. And I mean, it's pretty darn quick. Not that bad. And mine aren't all, you know, exact size or anything like that. They're like skinny fat. It's just kind of what it is. And you won't even be able to notice that. It's just going to look like a lot of fun. Like, the party is on. Yeah, just don't cut your... Just don't cut your glue tab off, right? You want to make sure to have a glue tab. Whoops. Getting a little chunky here at the end. Steady Eddie wins the race, though. There you go. And now all you're going to do is you're just going to shake this out. Once you get it all done, you're just going to shake it out. Get all your pieces all down, unfolded. And it kind of reminds you of pom-poms. It's like your pom-pom fringe. It's pretty fun. Okay. And let's see, there's a few pieces here. And if you just give them gentle shakes, they'll eventually all come down. And you can even do this after it's already attached too. Okay, and so now what you want to do, yeah, there's a few here. Still have to just be gentle, making sure to get all of them as I shake vigorously. There. Like, right? Isn't that the funnest? Okay, so now put a piece of, oh, you have to decide what you want in. So if we glue this side down, that is what is going to be out when we do this. But if we glue this one down, this is what is going to be on the inside. So you'll have the white on the outside, and it will look like that. And I just want an accent of red, so I'm going to glue mine down like this instead of the red being on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and put score tape, just 1/4 inch score tape on the top of our tab up here. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Good thing, because it's all wonky. And then you're just going to take this and pick which one you want to be the top. I think the way it is fine. And so you're just going to peel this off. And you could technically put this on at the end, so that way you can have, it can be nice for you to put the lights and to put that all together. But I found for me it was easier to put it on now. And this goes along the bottom of the cardstock. That's why it's only 11 inches. You're going from edge to edge on the cardstock is where you're going. And you just want to make sure that you get your glue tab up far enough to where it looks nice. And so that's what it's going to look like there. Oh, shoot. I put the wrong way. That was supposed to be in. Whoops. Well, it is what it is. I'm not taking it off now. Well, it's pretty. Okay, and so now what you want to do is you want to put this on the table here, and on your little cardstock tab, you want to put score tape there. And I use 1/4 inch for that as well. Oh, so one of mine is going to be red and one's going to be white. That's okay. It'll still be fun. I wonder if I could peel that off. Tissue paper is so delicate. Well, but then I'll have... Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. Tissue paper is very delicate. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take the rest of all your backers off. So take this one off and peel. Try not to get your tassels in your glue, in your score tape. So these, peel all these off. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to line this edge up of your, wait, where are you? This edge of your clear cardstock right there. And you're going to line it up with the edge of here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to round this like this. And so I'm going to take that edge and line it up right next to this border, right? Like, and match up the top. And then once I get that started, this, I'll do the same thing down here. I'm going to take and line up that one to that one. And line up the cardstock on the top and the bottom. And now this is where you're going to put your hand on the inside. And you're going to help your, you're going to help roll this together. Yeah. Hang on. So if you wouldn't have put the tassels on, it would probably have been easier. Last time I had them on already and it worked just perfect. So sometimes, depending on how it is, because I'm on camera, and so you're just pressing it together. There. And it helps if you put your hand on the inside too, to press it together with against your each hand. There we go. There we go. And you're just making sure it's all secure together. Pressing it to where it's just nice and secure. Like that. And then, ta-da! That is your lantern. Okay, and then sometimes you have to manipulate. Oh, whoops. Sometimes you have to manipulate these. Whether you pull them up, pull them down. But just kind of depending on what you want them to look like in the shape of your lantern. You just kind of have to help them all back up. But that is it. That's the basics of the lantern. Oh, shoot. I ripped that. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. And sometimes they rip. Like this one ripped and this one ripped. But that's okay. I take a marker and I just go over it wherever it rips. Because it did on my other one and you couldn't even tell. I just used a marker on it. And you couldn't even tell. But like, isn't that stinking fun? Let's see. Just take a dark red marker and color in all the white. And then you don't even notice it. My other one split on the front as well. But like that takes it away. Like you don't even notice that it's there. It's like not that big of a deal. Okay, and now what you want to do is you want to put your handle on. So make sure you get it facing the way you want. And this is also where you're going to put your lights as well. So untwist your lights. Untangle them. Let's see. And I'm just going to feed them down in as I'm untangling them. Just push them down in. And just weave them down into the bottom. There we go. Just about done. And it doesn't have to be, haha, right? Gonna put a bit of score tape on the back of this. And this just gets adhered to, we're gonna put the handle on. And then, so I'm just gonna put a piece of score tape down on the front side of each side of the handle. And then figure out, okay, so I want this to go like this since that's the back. I'm going to pop this on here and go over here, straight across. Make sure I put it all the way down into where the score tape is covered up. And then what I'm going to do is peel the back off the back of this now. And put this down in on the edge. Just like to where it just barely pops up. And then just press it. Because you won't even see this. When it's hanging up, you won't even see it. And then just finish pressing the lights all the way back in. And that's what it looks like. Isn't that pretty great? I mean, that's pretty fun, right? And you got the tassels. You got the tassels. They are a hoot. You got a gorgeous lantern. And, yeah, you probably just want to be a little more gentle than I was. And I put a little glue on that as well. And then you won't even notice that. You could add flowers to this. You could add flowers to the top of it. You could put lace on this. You could put rhinestones on this. You could, I mean, there is so many things you can do. And it is so stinking fun. That is a hoot. But it's that simple, guys. I mean, that's, how easy was that? And look how fun that is, right? Even with the little faux pas there, it still is so stinking cute. That is adorable. And then basically all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attach a loop on the back of it with a tiny attacher, a little staple, and call it good. A little piece of ribbon, and that's going to be that's the project. But isn't that great? What do you guys think of that? Isn't that fun? Minimal supplies, a little tissue paper, a sheet of cardstock, a couple strips for some accents if you want, for the borders, and then fairy lights and a piece of acetate clear cardstock or regular cardstock. Because this could be glitter, that could be foil, that could be, you know, just more patterned paper to make it pop even more. Whatever you want it to be in the middle of it without the fairy lights is still fun as well. So yeah, there it is there. Okay, that's the tutorial. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to give it a whirl. And thanks so much for hanging out. Until next time, happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.